Hi everybody, Ben here from Artless Ordinary. So I'm actually going to do another ring pearl pour. So I've been asked to do one in purples. So, well actually the one I did in purple already somebody would like. So I'm going to make another one because I want one for my room. So I'm doing another one, but this time I'm doing purples with a bronze pearl colour. So hopefully that will be quite cool, those colours. So I am mixing, I've already mixed up the paint. So I have Eraldo de Paulo Breeze. I have this light purple, which is ultraviolet and white mixed. Then I have ultraviolet. Then I have purple, which is an old global. And I've got white and black. So I'm using the same ratios as I did with the pink one. So let me just get my little notepad. So I actually didn't do the same ratios. I did them slightly different, sorry. I didn't get many pearls with the pink one. So I have decided to thin the paints more so. Except for the pearl colour. So these... I'm sorry, here we are. I knew I had it somewhere. So these are 15 grams of paint and 45 grams of floetrol. So I've made them 3-to-1 instead of 2-to-1. They're thicker than the Montmartres that I have, so I've decided to do it that way. So the 4 purples are 15 grams paint, 45 grams floetrol. The black and the white are 7 grams paint and 21 grams floetrol. And the pearl colour is 30 grams paint, 30 grams floetrol. So all of these are 3-to-1. This is 1-to-1. So cross my fingers that it actually turns out the way I would like it. So the pearl colour is decoart Extreme Sheen Bronze. I was going to use a different metallic, but I don't think I have a copper. I was going to use a copper, but I don't have a copper, so I used a bronze, which was closest I had to it. So I wanted to have something with a bit of an orange tone to the metallic, not just a silver or a gold. I wanted kind of like an orangey gold. So that is the paints. I can put them back on my shelf. And floetrol is Australian floetrol, in case you're wondering. So what I will do is, I mixed up these paints yesterday. I tried to make them a day beforehand. Even though when I mix with floetrol, I don't get a lot of bubbles, I thought I'll mix them anyway. Now I just have to get a cup. Where did I put my cup? Oh. I'm going to pause it while I find where I put my cup. Okay, I found it. And I've taken the lids off my paints and I've put them in order. So I'm going to go Breeze. I actually might put that there because this Breeze is it's very, very pale. So I'm going to go Breeze, then the ultraviolet and white mixed, then I'm going to go black, then I'm going to go ultraviolet, then white, then purple, and then back to Breeze again. So ultimately it is kind of light to dark, so alternating, apart from the first two, but that one doesn't look like purple. It's got a slight tint in it, so this one here should be fine next to each other. So I will just do a quick stir as I'm putting them in. So again, I'm going to go for 3 layers to the best of my ability. 3 layers. Yeah, so I just wanted to see if these thicken, because I wanted to make them overnight and leave it to see how much they thickened up, because that's why I think the 2-to-1 didn't work with these paints, because these paints are, that they thicken as they rest. So even now they kind of feel a little bit thick, but I don't want to mix any more, so we're going to go with what we've got. No, that's just the mark in the cup. So about 1/3. If anything, do a smaller bit at the bottom and go to larger bits as you get to the top, because the top will spread out and the smaller bits in the middle will be more localized. So that way there you get a little bit more of a tighter center. But I think this should come out quite well. So I'm pouring the paint into the side of the cup, so it's not a dirty pour, it's a layered pour. Get some more pop sticks though. And you can layer them whichever way you like. I just want the rings to be defined. I sometimes found at the beginning when I was doing it, I wasn't layering things as well when I first started doing this style. So this way here, I've learnt it works a little bit better to get a defined ring pattern. And some colours make ring patterns better than others. So always keep that in mind as well. So yeah, just a little bit of black and a little bit of white just to break it up a little bit and give it a little bit of contrast. But at the same time, I don't want big patches of black or white, especially black. When I do ring pours, black is a little bit of an enemy of mine because it seems to always want to take over far too much, even when I think I'm only putting a little bit amount in. So this is why we just learn as we go. Now we go to this one. So I put in a little bit more than I did the first layer. So this looks good. I can't see many bubbles because I made them up a lot earlier. And I believe the purple will go quite well with the bronze, isn't it? Yeah, with the bronze. I think it's probably going to be quite complementary. I just really hope I get lots of pearls now that I've thinned this mix down. So I got a lot of good pearls when I used the Montmart, but I don't have as good a selection of colours that I have brought yet in Montmart. So they do make more colours and you can mix your own up, but I don't have a lot. I work on it. I get bits and pieces as I go. We can't always afford to go and buy every colour at once, and I'm sure a lot of you are in a similar boat. You can't afford to go buy them all at once, so you buy them as you go. So if this works, then I know that I could probably even mix Montmart and Global if I wanted to have a bigger selection of colours, if I wanted to do a different toned ring or coloured ring. So the only thing I will say is try not, this is a 16 by 12 canvas. Try not to adjust your measurements too much. I adjusted the thickness of the paint with floetrol, but I didn't adjust the amount of paint, because you don't want too much paint because you won't get a lot of pearls, and you don't want not enough paint because then you won't be able to get all the way to the corners and you'll have a half finished artwork. So these colours are looking very nice in the cup, being laid like this. Precisely what I wanted. So that's how the pink went. When I did the pink one, the colours looked good laid in the cup, which meant that when I did the ring pour, it seemed to have worked well, because I could see that the colours were quite defined in the cup. So you learn a lot about colour choices and ordering as you do more paintings. You kind of learn more. It depends whether you've done anything that's had colour work in the past. Like if you've done other artwork, you probably know a little bit more about how colours work and interact with each other. If you haven't, you'll learn it as you go. Don't always expect to have that knowledge straight off hand. I'm quite good with colours because of my horticulture background with my flowers, but I haven't always done a lot of mixing of colours. So when you do colours in a garden, your plant will always have, like, if you put a red and an orange next to each other, you'll always have a red and an orange next to each other. But with art, that red and orange will blend. So you got to learn a little bit more different to what you might be used to. But I think learning and having fun when it comes to this is absolutely fantastic. Keeps your mind more active. And if you want to have a lazy day and just chuck a whole bunch together and see how it turns out, you can always do that too. Sorry if this is a bit boring, the layering, but I think it's good if you see it, and if you don't want to see it, you can always hit the fast forward button. But for people that are still learning, this is how they're going to learn how to do it the same way, is to follow what you do and learn from your mistakes or successes, and then they'll find their own way as they do more. We all started somewhere once, so straightening up my back. Okay, so hope you can see that, but that looks pretty cool, not laid in there. Looks nice and defined, not too out of place. Now, put this aside. So as you can see, this copper looks beautiful, and I can just imagine them together. But always give it a stir. Being a metallic, the colours settle a little bit. So I went and brought these cups from a it's like a wholesaler for, it's kind of like a wholesale shop. But the best thing is about them is they got the lids. So I can either make the paint up a day earlier and put the lid on, or if I don't use all the paint in a certain artwork, I can just put the lid on and use it for something else. So that's why. And they actually worked out probably quite cheap. Just getting my gloves on. Excellent. So here we go. Try and get this in the middle. I do have a little bit of an issue of sometimes pouring it off to one side, but you are best to get it in the middle as much as possible. That's looking super nice. And I'm not exactly in the middle. Don't know how I managed to do that. I think I'm in the middle and I'm not. So this time I'm only using 30 grams when I used 40 grams last time. But because the paints are thinner, it should work, I'm hoping. I wasn't going to get 40 grams out of my container. I think I'd already used up more than that. Okay, so we'll start pouring. As soon as the second colour comes out, I'll start doing the rings. Sorry if I don't talk, I'm concentrating. So I'm just going to slow down now that the amount of paint coming out is a little bit less. Put my finger, oh, I made a drip. Luckily that drip went all the way off. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to get some nice rings with this one as well. I'm going to tip this way first. I always have trouble getting over the edges, so now I'm tilting it back this way. And over the edge. So I'm going to go down this way. Over. And now I'm going to stretch the whole lot back to this very last corner. Come on, pearls, start showing up already, please. I'd have to say, these are one of the most nervous paintings I do because I'm so worried that I'm not going to get pearls that I start panicking. And over the corner. So now I'm just recentering the paint for two reasons. One, you want it to come off the corner so you get pearls there, and I'm hoping to bring that circle or the middle part of the ring down into the middle. I think there should be good. So not a lot of pearls have shown up already. So while I got paint on my gloves, touch up my four corners quickly. I can see some pearls starting to show. Alright, I think that's it. So, gloves come off. And now I get my blowtorch out. And now warm up this paint. We want these pearls to know that they have to come to the front or to the top. So I have a feeling I may not get a lot, because normally I see more pearls before I even start torching. But if not, it's still a pretty cool ring pour. But I really want these bronze pearls to show up and make the ring pour a bigger star than what it could already be. So if I don't get a lot of pearls, I'm going to go back to the Montmartre paints and just presume that it doesn't work as good with the global, just because it has worked in the past with the Montmartre. So I'm not going to give up too early. I'm going to make sure I've warmed this up to the point where I feel that I'm not going to get more, or only thing that's going to bring more is time. Okay. I don't think I can warm that up anymore without feeling like I might damage it with the too much. So I have got a couple of pearls over here, a few up here, across the top there and down the side here. Not as many as I would have liked. again. So I'm sorry, Mr. Global Paints or Eraldo de Paulo, but I don't know if I'm going to use you again for another pearl pour. I think I'm just going to have to mix up some of my own purples using Montmartre, because I don't want to waste any more extreme sheen paint on an effect that I'm not getting my desired result. I feel like if you really want specific result, go with what works. I've tried, so you can experiment. So I've done this a couple of times now, and both times I've got a pretty picture, but I haven't got my desired result. When I did get my desired result using Montmartre. So instead of wasting canvas, paint, time, and my precious extreme sheen paint, I'm going to just go with what works. So I've scraped those edges. I'm going to make sure I do that again in a couple more minutes to make sure that it hasn't re-dripped. So for now, I think my only thing I can do is pause it and come back and show you if more pearls have come up. But I would like to say, I do have a pretty cool ring pour. So not all is lost if I don't get what I was wanting. And that's the best thing to think about it. That's why when I do these, I always try to make sure I do a decent ring pour. So then if I don't get the pearls, I've still got my ring pour painting, which is kind of what I want in the first place. I just want the pearls to give it a little bit more oomph. So I'm going to pause it and I'll come back in 5, 7 to 10 minutes. And we're back. So the pearls have grown a little bit, but not a lot. The sides of my canvas, as always, are covered in pearls, all the sides. But they're not the feature. But the colour combo is really good. So the purple with the bronze, is it? Yep, with the bronze is quite nice. So this is one I will definitely do again, but I will use Montmartre paints and see how I go. Because the last one I did with Montmartre, I got a lot more pearls. That is this one here. So that one there is using the Montmartre paint with a silver pearl, and definitely got a lot more pearls in it, when this one here is just a little bit too sparse. So I'm going to go back and do another one with Montmartre. I'll probably wait to do that another week or two. But that is the end result. So these may grow a little bit more over the next 20 minutes or so, but it's still not going to be anywhere near as much as that one I just showed you on camera. So I'm going to bring the camera down, show you what I have now, and that will be it. But at least I did an experiment with global paints and the pink one. And then I thought, you know what, maybe it was the paint being a little bit too thick. So I thinned the paints down again. So instead of 2 to 1, I did 3 to 1 with floetrol. And I'm still not getting a lot of pearls. So that is virtually just telling me, go back to what works and don't mess around with the ones that aren't working anymore. So I've seen people use Liquitex Basics and they come out fantastic. So it may sometimes, if you're not getting pearls, it could be your brand of paints. Try a different brand. Stick to the recipe, and just use a different brand for it. Sorry, frogs in my throat again. It's probably the best way I can explain it is I'm happy to try and experiment a few times. but I don't want to keep going over and over and over, adjusting my measurements, doing it slightly this way or that way. If I'm not getting what I want, when I know that if I use the right brand of paints, I am going to get what I want. So I don't think I have enough of this bronze left to do another one, but I will look in my little decoart box to see if I have more. So if I've got more, I'll do it with the same type of colors. But the only purples I have in Montmartre is light purple and purple. So I'm going to have to mix up a few different colors. I'll probably mix up some with white, I'll mix up some with black, and give myself four different tones, and then still use a black and a white, because the black and the white have come out quite good. So that is my plan. So I'm going to bring the camera down and show you a close-up. And there we go. So in real life it is slightly darker than what I'm looking at in the camera. Camera seems to do that quite often. But you can see down in the bottom corner there's a couple of pearls, but the rings are really well defined. They're quite nice. I've got pearls going around. This is probably the best corner for pearls, up here. And then we come back down here where we've got another nice corner for pearls. And as you can see, the rings are all the way through it. Let's go to the center here. Beautiful. So again, a lovely pearl pour, a lovely ring pour, but not exactly a pearl pour. But again, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm just going to work on what I want more so. So I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, share, like, leave comments, and yeah, I hope you had a good night, and I will see you next time. Bye.